Hi.
All right, this is One Pixel Jump interviews Richard Epcar. How's the con been treating you so far?
It's been great. We're having a lot of fun, and it's been a whirlwind for us because we basically had to take a red eye and get here early Saturday, and basically we hit the runway run, and as soon as we got the hotel, and like 9:30 we had a 10 o'clock panel, so we had to go right into it, and we've been doing it all day. So we're a little spacey, hey, but other than that. Other than that, it's okay.
I can understand being busy at the convention, especially being a VIP. Well, we're going to go ahead and ask you questions you probably heard about 1,000 times over the process of these various interviews. Being in so many different roles over the course of anime, and also having directed, has being an ADR director helped you become a better voice actor, or the other way around?
Oh yeah, definitely. I think they both work hand in glove, and I've the fact that I'm a director, I'm aware of that when I'm in the booth, what goes on the other side, and then being and vice versa. I think they really help each other, and it's a good thing. It's an absolutely, and also I like the fact, to be honest with you, well, I shouldn't say not a lot of, but some of the directors are not actors. And I think those directors have a harder time communicating with the actors what they need, exactly to bring out what they want, what they're trying to get out of the actor. So I think if you're both, then you kind of know what you need to say or how you need to go about bringing out what you need to bring out from the actor. And I think it's a great help.
Well, that does follow. In the course of having voiced so many things, has there ever been a time where you've had to say a line or come across something and you just think to yourself, wait, I have to say what?
Yeah, you do that sometimes, but the hard part of this stuff is, basically when you're an actor and you're in the booth, you're kind of at the director's behest, and you kind of have to defer to them and give them what they want. And basically that means like checking your ego at the door. So it's hard sometimes because there is always that little part of me that's a director in the back going, no, this is bad, don't do it, don't go there, and and yet you kind of have to because that's what they're asking you to do. I've had that conflict on certain shows when I've been in the booth before, when the directors ask me to go a certain way, and I really don't want to go that way, but I have to give them what they want as a director. So it's a tough thing to do, and I don't know, does that answer your question, or I kind of went off the road a little bit there, but
oh well, that's okay.
We're in four-wheel drive now. I'm just kind of.
It's whatever you want to say.
Absolutely. Well,
it's all about me.
Yeah, you can drive on the other side of the road for all I care.
Okay, all right. We'll be in England for a few minutes. Which scares me, by the way, yes.
In the course of voicing video games, I'm sure that you've had to voice a lot of just clips of grunting and battle damage and that sort of thing. And how is that in the booth, just having to go in and go, ugh, all of a sudden?
I don't have a problem with it because, to be honest with you, I really cut my teeth on a lot of what I like to call lovingly chopsaki films. So these are all kind of Indonesian movies where people were getting cut up and fighting and getting their limbs cut off, and of course you couldn't show a woman's boob because that would be wrong, but you can show a man being vivisected in slow motion. That was okay. But we worked on a lot of those kinds of movies starting out, and a lot of Jackie Chan stuff when his stuff first came to America, and it wasn't in English. So I really kind of cut my teeth on that stuff, so I have no problem doing that. I really kind of enjoy doing that stuff. In fact, it's kind of funny because a lot of the voice actors that do some of the bigger stuff have no idea how to do that stuff at all. So they have a real difficulty doing that, whereas I enjoy it. So.
I did wonder if there was something sort of, I imagine that there was something sort of unique to that, some sort of, not maybe like a technique, but you just have to be really comfortable with just going into a room to yell like you're getting punched even though you're just sitting in a room.
Yeah, and that's another thing, whether you get film actors in there or celebrities in there, because they're in this little confined box, they think, oh, I can't be loud, I got to do the film acting thing, and that doesn't work on mic at all. You have to be much bigger and broader, and you can't think about you're in a little booth. You got to think about you're on the battlefield and there's tanks firing and guns shooting, and you got to really throw your voice out there. And those are, honestly, those games like Call of Duty and those ones where you're just really screaming your ass off, those are the tough ones because you're literally screaming for 4 hours at a pop. I did this one game where I was basically going in there, I was screaming and screaming and screaming for 4 hours. It was brutal. And those are really hard because you're basically just really being, taxing your throat. And the guy said, well, I've saved the best, 10 loops for the last. I said, you saved the 10 best loops for the last? What is that? He said, well, you're going to be burned alive by a flamethrower. I said, you need 10 loops of this? They said, yes, and we need them for 30 seconds long. And go! So that was brutal. And then, of course, the next day I had to do a Hallmark card, commercial on the radio, so that was not good. But.
Absolutely. I don't want to ask you the question, how do you go about being a voice actor? Because I'm so tired of hearing people ask that question over and over again.
I'll answer it for you. I don't care.
Well,
but
actually...
my take on that, basically, real quickly, is that if it's something you really want to do, you can do it, but you really have to become a good actor. And that's basically the bottom line. People say, people come up to me all the time. People tell me I've got a great voice. People tell me blah blah blah, all this stuff. It's like I should be doing or they start doing impersonations of Donald Duck or Mickey Mouse. Or that's great. They already have those characters. Thank you. And it's like you have to be able to go in the booth and make that dialogue on the page come to life and bring it to life as an actor. And that takes a good actor. So if you want to be a voice actor, become the best actor you can be, and then that's basically what I tell anyone.
Oh, well, that's good. You actually inadvertently answered my second question, which was going to be which was going to be an offshoot of that. When you have new voice actors come in, because we're moving into new generations all the time. I remember voice actors from when I was a kid, and we have new ones now. When you get new voice actors that you have to direct or work with, what are some of the things that end up being issues with things like that?
Well, I don't know. I mean, it's such a highly competitive field that generally by the time they get to me, and if they're working, they're usually pretty good and they know what they're doing. If they're, and I'm one of the ones, I really do try to give people a break, and I try to help people. And if somebody comes up to me and say, I really want to audition for you, I'll say, okay, sure, why not? Come in and audition. But I have to say, 9.9% of the time when they come in and they audition, they're not very good. And this is the thing is, if you're not competitive and you come in and you do a reading for me and you're not really that good, I'm not going to remember you, because there's so many people that are good that I would rather bring in. Because you have to remember, when we do these projects, we're under a time crunch and we have to do them very quickly and get them done. And you want it to be fun. You don't want to be sitting there holding someone's hand or pulling, it's like pulling teeth every line. That's not fun, and it actually makes my work twice as hard or 3 times as hard. So you want someone in there who's going to do a good job, is going to be good, and you can give a direction and they can just run with it, and and that's what you want, and those are the people that get hired over and over again. So that's the reality, the sad reality of it all.
Of course. Well, we've gone ahead and talked about some general things about voice acting. I don't know how. We're close to time, so I need to ask
that
you.
Went quick.
I know.
Yeah.
Can we just sit down?
There's one more question. Somebody did ask me to ask you this.
She's tough, but she's fair.
I guess.
That asked me to ask you this specifically about your role on the Legend of Korra.
Oh yeah.
Is there anything that you could tell us about that? Are you going to continue that role?
Oh yes, I played Chief Saikhan on that series, and I'm just loving being part of that cast. First of all, there's some amazing people in that cast. And I love working with Andrea Romano, and I love working with Nickelodeon. So all that stuff, for me, is just a joy. It's taken me a long time to get with those guys. So I'm very happy to be part of that group. So yes, and the show looks amazing. And it was funny. And I went in for my first show, and it's like a radio show because you have the cast in there. It's not like when we do most of the stuff where we go in one person at a time, like games. Most games are like that, and most anime, obviously you go in one person at a time. But when you do this original stuff, you go in there and you read with the cast, so it's like you're doing a radio show. And when I came out, I was thrilled to be there, but it was funny. The producers were even more thrilled with me because they go, "You were Batou, right? You were Batou." They were like all excited that I was Batou. So I thought, wow, that's kind of funny. They're geeking out on a Batou here. I'm geeking out on being at Nickelodeon, so it was kind of funny.
That's very cool.
Yeah.
Well, that's all the time that we have. If I could get you to just say one more thing.
Sure.
We are from One Pixel Jump. Could you say into the camera, One Pixel Jump does not suck?
One pixel jump does not suck.
You heard it here first. Richard Epcar said we don't suck.
And if you say it does, I'll go Batou on your ass.
Thank you.